All right, guys, so listen. I finally figured it out why the new Supra will probably be a flop. I did extensive research, asking people around the world what they thought about this car.
We got a problem.
System breach.
Oh.
That's it. It's the name. It's the name. I was literally driving around the other day and a Mark IV Supra went right by me and I was like, Supra. And then I really thought about it and I said, wait a minute. I don't think of the new one at all. The reason is because we don't associate this new whatever it is, the FRS combined with the LC500 car thing, with the name Supra. Hey, you guys remember the time they unveiled the car as a NASCAR? Do you remember the time they unveiled the car in ugly camo at Goodwood? Do you guys remember the time they unveiled the car as a wide body race car? Do you guys remember the time they said there was gonna be a new Supra 10 years ago? Yeah, me too. Now it has a nameplate that lives up to way too much hype. It's just like the four-door Mustang we just talked about. Had it been called the Falcon, everything's a-okay. But since it's called the Mustang and they have 4 doors on it, you go, what is that? I mean, voice cracks and all. But if you think about it, if you go to a Toyota dealership and you see this brand new sports car, right? Somebody goes, it's a turbo inline 6, it's got 330 horsepower, and it handles really good, and if we call it the insert name here that's not Supra, you would go, oh wow, Toyota's making a really new cool sports car. But since they called it the Supra, Toyota kinda sorta screwed up by not releasing it soon enough and also living up to a car that just kinda can't be lived up to. When you think of the Supra, you think of the Mark IV and the Mark III. That's what people think about. You can really screw up a car company if you make some wrong branding decisions. Marketing, in my opinion, is one of the most important departments of any company, and sometimes they see right through their mistakes and don't even realize what they're doing. I know we already talked about the Mustang and the four-door, but the Ford Probe was originally going to be the new Mustang, and there was so much outrage, 50,000 letters were sent into Ford. And then you have Mitsubishi coming along, and they had this amazing sports car called the Eclipse GSX for a while, and now it's an SUV. What were they thinking? What are all these car companies doing? Stop naming these completely different platforms other names from your sports cars. It makes no sense at all. No one is gonna look at that new Eclipse and go, do you want an unreliable, cheap interior SUV? That's exactly what I wanted. That's right. Specifically with the Supra, like I said before, had they named it a different name, that car would be okay. It wouldn't be in the hot water that it's in now by most of the car community. Most of the car community, the enthusiast community, has literally forgot that this car exists. I go to a bunch of tuning shops, I go to a bunch of places, no one has faith in this car. No one. However, give it a new original name. That way it could be a new evolution of the Toyota brand. Let the Supra be the legend that it is. Let that car go in peace, you know what I mean? It's like when you make too many sequels of a movie and it's so fatigued to the point that people just don't care anymore. And the sequel took way too long in this case. So if you do this with other car companies as well, it wouldn't make any sense. So I don't know why Toyota put so many eggs in one basket to name this car the Supra when it doesn't even have a Toyota/Yamaha engine in it. A bunch of the driving videos I've seen of it so far, it didn't blow anybody away yet. It didn't make anybody go, yeah, I have to have this car. I don't want the M54 or the S54 problems in a Japanese car, even though I've gone through 2.2Js, so I can't really say anything. Oh my God, it's like a paradox, I can't decide. At least the Acura NSX had an argument here where it's the new sports car experimental and it's the new sports car that's experimental. They put a bunch of different technology in it, they tried different things, it was completely different and experimental from the last NSX. Now, do I think that was the smart move of Acura? No, but at the same time, the NSX on a track is freaking phenomenal. However, to the masses, Wow, it was like imagination.
Imagination.
However, to the masses, that's not the smart move. All these car companies are complaining about they can't sell sports cars, they can't sell this. I think they just need to improve their branding. I think the name is everything with a car. The Mustang was originally gonna be called the Cougar, and then that turned into the Mercury Cougar, which was cool for a little while, and then it wasn't so cool after a little while. The contradiction to say that the Supra is not a solid name, but in this case, it's not a solid name for this application. With you and I being car enthusiasts, and we were in the board meeting for the Toyota Supra, the first development of it, and they said, listen, we're gonna pitch this to the marketing team. Rear-wheel drive, sounds good. Turbocharged, sounds good. Inline six, you're getting better. BMW powered. Why? Oh, well, the numbers add up and we can make a really good business decision with BMW. Okay, but what about the marketing fallout with that decision? What do you mean? I'm saying as in you're taking a car that is loved by so many due to the Toyota power plant, that's literally the reason people buy that car. Oh well, I don't really think enthusiasts will care that much as long as it handles well. Enthusiasts are gonna care about it because you're not seeing the big picture here. People are gonna wanna put this car on a dyno and see what it does, and they wanna see if it rivals the 2JZ. It will rival the 2JZ, it just won't be a Toyota motor. How come we're charging $30,000 more for a car that only makes 15 more horsepower than the Mark IV Supra of 20 to 30 years ago? I don't know. The Supra name will carry the entire weight. No, it won't. Would Mazda release a Mazda RX-7 that's an SUV? Or would they release a four-door sedan called the RX-7 without a rotary in it? No, they wouldn't, because they understand their marketing. They understand light power, Miatas, balance, that's what they do. They wouldn't take a name that is so synonymous with handling and put it on something that's big and bloated just to sell to the masses. It doesn't make any sense. Now, when I say that the new Supra is a mistake, I'm not saying as in the car itself is a complete mistake. Toyota, in my opinion, needs more sports cars. Even companies like Lamborghini have experimented with different cars, obviously, but they've always been concepts and given their own names. You think about the four-door concept they have, they weren't gonna call that the Murcielago, they weren't gonna call that the Aventador. They stuck with a different brand name because it was a completely different entity. This new Supra is a different entity. It's a different car in every way. So my advice is, don't even call it the Supra, call it something else. But don't call it some like two-letter thing with a number on it like the FT1, because I don't know, I guess I don't like when cars do that. That's what makes German cars so confusing to me, okay? I'm gonna name my baby 335i. It's funny because really one of the only companies right now that's not doing these weird name changes is Dodge. But they did years ago when they brought back the Charger. The new Charger was considered crap. It was like, how could you do this? We had this amazing two-door sports car or muscle car back in the day, and you give us this four-door family car? What is this? And I remember being a kid and seeing an old Charger and the new Charger next to each other, and I'm like, what is that? Why? Why did they do that? And it had the generic Dodge design language on it with the cross grille and everything. I was like, unoriginal, didn't have any inspiration, and was playing it way too safe. But just because you put the name Charger on a four-door doesn't mean you put the name Dart on a four-door either. Dodge Dart, perfect example of false branding. Dart was like one of the most crazy badass muscle cars of all time, and they put it on this stupid new neon basically. Wasn't an SRT4, wasn't any of that. The new Dart was a joke compared to its predecessor, and that's what you don't want for a car. You want to go to the next level with a brand name, not take 10 steps back. For example, like I just said, that Dodge Dart should have been the new Neon. It is basic common sense. But then Dodge got rid of that Dart because I think they realized their mistake. And I think also the Charger has just been around long enough now with the new variants of the Scat Packs and the Hellcats that it has become kind of its own entity. Charger reinvented itself in a way that took a while, but it definitely was the right move because then we had the Challenger. I do think it's interesting psychologically though, how a brand name can change our decision about a car entirely. The moment that we suggested that the new four-door Mustang should be called the Falcon, for some reason my brain said, that's totally okay, and in fact, I like it. I think it's because of the legacy and the reputation of the Falcon would be consistent. There's a four-door in Australia, it could be a four-door here. That makes sense. When you take something that has so much love behind it and then you kind of take advantage of the system and the name of something of a legend, that's where you're screwing up. Guys, what do you think about this theory? Do you believe in the power of names and marketing and how sometimes you just gotta let a name go and move on forward with a different name? Or do you think it was smart of these companies to take these names and put them on different platforms? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see you guys next time and have a wonderful day. Hey, you, want clean wheels? Hey, use this. Spray on. Let sit for 45 seconds and turn purple. Spray again with water. Clean wheels. Make sure to check out www.pattersoncarcare.com. Made by car dudes for car dudes.